What's up? Welcome back. I know it's been a little bit since I put a video out, a couple extra days. Had some vacation and stuff, just like, I don't know, getting away, cameraman, wife, everything, just nuts. Anyway, if you're like me, which you're probably not, you don't like noodles, which you're probably not, because everybody likes noodles except for me for whatever reason.
I like noodles.
You like noodles? Well, that's good. You're not like me. So, anyway, more than likely there's some kind of food that you don't like that everybody else likes, and mine is noodles. And so I'm doing substitutes today on noodles. And what if you don't get anything else out of this other than encouragement to look for substitutes for the food that you don't like? I think I've done my job. Anyway, what I've got right here is some cabbage and an onion and a zucchini. What I wound up doing, you can try doing that. So I used a vegetable peeler on the zucchini, and that worked out pretty well for just making some really thin strips like that. Yep, keep doing that if you want to. And then on the cabbage and the onion, I both just made some cuts like that right there. And then you wind up with strips the width that you cut it, obviously, because, you know, physics and stuff. And all of this I just boiled in a little bit of salt water just to get it soft again. The onions take the longest because they're a little thicker. It was probably 10 minutes. And then the cabbage was probably 7 or 8. The zucchini was only a couple of minutes because it's so thin. But what I wound up doing, because in most Asian dishes there's noodles, and most Italian dishes there's noodles, I decided that since those are the two dishes that are common for noodles, that I would do a little bit of both. This is just chicken broth. I actually cooked fajitas tonight, so I had chicken and chicken broth left over. You want a bite? And then I had to add a little bit of extra broth to it to get it to go. But as you can see, you know, there's just cooked onions and cabbage and zucchini in there. And it's good. And yeah, I just cooked them until they're tender, and they're they don't taste like noodles to me. I like it. Tastes good.
It tastes good too.
It's I feel like people that would eat noodles would say, oh, there's kind of the texture of noodles there. So I don't know if you're like low carb in it or whatever. That's probably a good call. Maybe not so much on the onions since they're like 100% sugar. But then, excuse me, just had some marinara sauce and some hamburger meat, and I did these separately so I can kind of get a feel for how each one is individually instead of mixing them all together in that soup. And here we go. This is the first time I've done this.
You're not doing it no more. You're not doing it no more.
I don't know. The cabbage tastes like, there's kind of a cabbage flavor there. It's not much at all though, because when you boil it, you know, if you boil stuff in water, it dilutes everything. So again, it doesn't really taste like noodles, but it doesn't taste, I don't know, bad. I like it better than noodles because it doesn't taste like noodles. I feel like the zucchini really pairs well with this. My wife actually made some, sorry that I'm talking with a mouthful. I actually made some zucchini lasagna last week, and it may be the best lasagna I've ever eaten because it didn't have noodles in it. I was 100% okay with that. I did taste some of the onions because they were the first thing I did, just right out of the water with no sauce or anything on them. And they tasted like nothing, but they did finish just a little oniony.
Hello, Daddy. You didn't even do it like this.
And I would say, as far as texture go, the onions is actually where it's at. Not gonna say that it's like 100% substitute for noodles, but it is for me because anything is better than noodles in my opinion. Like I said, I'm sure that you have something out there that you just don't like to eat, and there's this thing where you can go and type stuff in and say, what can I substitute for this? And then it goes and it comes back and it says you can do this. It's great. Like, you can do it on a keyboard or a phone or a tablet or laptop. And at the end of the day, like, Basically, anything can be substituted for anything else. Probably not. Don't quote me on that. But there are legitimate substitutes for most foods out there. Just remember, no matter how thin you make a pancake, there's always going to be two sides. Do you want the rest of this?